the liver has a deceptively simple digestive function, although it is so important to us as organisms. It is the largest internal gland in the body. It's divided into 4 lobes. The only digestive function it has is the production of bile, and we need bile because it emulsifies fats. There are going to be a couple of ligaments which will be important. The falciform ligament is going to separate the right and left lobes. It also suspends the liver from the diaphragm as well as the anterior abdominal wall. The round ligament is a remnant of the fetal umbilical vein. And there is the round ligament along the inferior edge, and there's the diaphragm along the superior edge, and there's the falciform ligament. We know that the lesser omentum will anchor the liver and the stomach. The hepatic artery and vein will enter at what is known as the porta hepatis. There are going to be several ducts that will be important. The common hepatic duct leaves the liver. The cystic duct will connect that to the gallbladder, and the bile duct is going to be formed by the union of the common hepatic and cystic ducts. And more about those. The liver is going to be divided into lobules, which are the functional unit. So if you ever asked on any test, what is the functional unit of the liver, you will tell them, oh, easy, liver lobules. They are hexagonal in structure, and they are going to be composed of these plates of liver cells, which are known as hepatocytes, and their job is to filter and process nutrient-rich blood. There is a central vein in the longitudinal axis, and there you can see the central vein nicely marked, and you can see that indeed they are quite distinctly shaped. In the corner of each lobule will be what's known as a portal triad, which will be branches of the hepatic artery as well as the hepatic portal vein. The hepatic artery is bringing in oxygen. The hepatic portal vein is bringing in the blood that is carrying nutrients. The bile duct will receive bile from what is known as the bile canaliculi. Think back to when we talked about capillaries. Sure enough, you're going to have sinusoids in the liver. They're going to be leaky capillaries between those hepatic plates. We'll also have what are known as Kupffer cells or hepatic macrophages or stellate macrophages within the liver sinusoids because they are going to remove debris and dead or dying erythrocytes. Great diagram of a hepatic lobule. You can see the central vein. You can see the portal triad. It's nicely marked, sort of in the lower right portion of that diagram. And you can see the plates of the hepatocytes. The hepatocytes are the most metabolically active cells in the body. They're going to have a lot of both rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. They're going to have a lot of Golgi bodies. They'll have a ton of mitochondria. They'll have a ton of peroxisomes. And what are their functions? This would be a good thing to know, hint, hint. They're going to process those nutrients that are brought in on the blood. They're going to store fat-soluble vitamins. They will perform detoxification, and they are going to produce bile. And that is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what hepatocytes can do. Now, see how it says store fat-soluble vitamins? The liver will also store drugs or toxins that it cannot metabolize. And that is why the recommendation is that if you need iron, that you consume liver, but you consume small amounts because of the fact that the liver does store toxins, which can be dangerous, particularly if you are pregnant and told You need iron. Some of the pathologies include hepatitis, usually virally triggered, might be due to drug toxicity, might be due to wild mushroom poisoning, so be careful if you're going out and mushrooming. Cirrhosis is progressive and chronic inflammation due to either hepatitis or alcoholism, sometimes drug use. You might end up with portal hypertension because you have a fatty liver. Liver transplants are successful, but livers are scarce, and you can actually regrow your liver, but after you reach a certain point, the liver becomes too damaged and cannot replace itself. The gallbladder is important too, although you can live without one. It's pretty thin-walled. It is a muscular sac. It is on the ventral surface of the liver. It is going to store and concentrate bile by absorbing water and ions. You will have muscular contractions to release bile through the cystic duct. That cystic duct flows or moves the bile into the common bile duct, and the bile duct will carry that bile down to the duodenum. Its chief function is bile storage. That's its job. So bile is yellow-green, it is alkaline, it is going to contain bile salts and bilirubin and cholesterol, triglycerides, phospholipids, and electrolytes. Bile salts are actually derived from cholesterol, and they are going to be required for emulsification of fats. Bilirubin is a pigment formed from heme. Heme is in hemoglobin. The bacteria break that down in the intestine into what's known as stercobilin, and that's why you have fecal matter that is brown. Gallstones can be very painful, and that's generally why people have their gallbladder removed. Due to high cholesterol and too few bile salts, they are going to, or potentially can, obstruct flow of bile out of your gallbladder, and therefore you may end up with obstructive jaundice. The gallbladder contracts. Remember, it's going to have those muscular contractions to move bile out. Yeah, so when the gallbladder contracts, it is actually contracting against sharp crystals, which cause pain. You can frequently treat these with drugs or with ultrasound, sometimes with laser vaporization or surgery. And if you want more information on gallstones, go there. Next up, pancreas.